So you already got some prime real estate in the heart of the jungle, but it feels incomplete. It feels soulless, savage even. Well, I'm here to guide you through all the improvements you can make to bring it closer to a residence fit for a king. Now, before we start, to unlock the new blueprints from the decorations update, you will have to build a workbench, and to unlock the workbench, well, remember in the last video I said walls serve no purpose? They do now, because you need to build a wall to unlock workbench. And no, a short wall won't do it. You have to build a proper wall. Speaking of walls, let's talk about Fortifications update first, that came out shortly after I made the first video. With that update we got fence, palisade, which is an improved fence, gate, and lookout platform. Here you can see the palisade in action. Each picket takes one log, and then it can take 5 or 6 hits with the tribal spear. When it's destroyed, it also destroys the 2 adjacent sections, and you only get 1 log back. When building, build gate first, as you can't attach gates to palisades that have already been built. You also can't attach palisades to blueprints of gates, so finish gates first. I don't recommend building these in early to mid-game, because they take a lot of resources for very little benefit, unless you just like them for aesthetic reasons. And on the lookout platform, well, I got my own. In the update after that, we got composter, in which you put your spoiled stuff to breed maggots as feed for your armadillos and anteaters. Because obviously you'd spend your whole game just running around hunting maggots, spiders and scorpions for your useless pets. So please do make use of the composter if you decide to get any of these two. Also, as a reminder, if you're keeping them as pets, don't make the mistake of using compost as fertilizer. Instead, harvest it for maggots and feed your animals. You usually get more animal droppings than you know what to do with, so use that to fertilize plants instead. Speaking of useless pets, if you're struggling with capybara and tapir feeding, build some beehives for honey harvesting, but don't forget armor or torch when doing so. It's a free source of food for these animals, and you'll be able to use the honeycombs for honey dressing once they all inevitably die because you spent a little too long away from your camp. There's also the parrot nest, which will reward you with feathers and eggs. But don't forget to collect your rewards because they won't spawn anymore once the nest is overfilled. Also, remember that the nest won't fit under a roof, which is a bummer. It won't attract toucans, which is another bummer, and the parrots that visit you will clip through walls, which is yet another bummer. Still, parrots bring color to the game, which is nice. There are other, more conventional decorations in the most recent decorations update, which is the final content update for the game. So, what do we got? Once you build a workbench, which as I said requires you to first build a full wall, you'll unlock a bunch of new items. Some of them require logs and leaves, which you have to bring and put in here. Yeah, just here, right here, yeah, that's nice. The first category is self-explanatory. It's just a bunch of furniture that you can put wherever it fits. The next 3 categories are variations of decorations that will go into your windows, top portions of half walls, or onto walls. Here are some examples. You can tell if it will fit into window or a wall by looking at its size on the workbench. There are also walls, but I don't see the purpose for them, as they can't attach to your existing walls. The best you can do is use them as separators inside the house, or as I do here, as a smaller wall to use as a bridge to the second floor. A regular wall didn't fit here. Then there's paintings and holders. Most of these you can hang onto walls. You can even make them overlap with windows somewhat. Torch holders have 2 variations, one that you put as a stand and one that can be hung on a wall. Both of these will attract natives if your home is not built on water, like mine here. You must be wondering how I painted my home. That's also part of the new update, but there's a limited amount of colors. Here's how you get paint. You need to find the Brazil nut, crack it open, and then combine it with maggots for white color, blue mushrooms for blue color, yellow mushroom for yellow, small leaf pile for green, or the red berries that are used for ayahuasca rituals for red. Unless you have to carry your paint a long way, you don't need more than 1 Brazil nut. each time you use up the paint in your Brazil nut, it returns empty to your inventory. The paintbrush blueprint will only appear in your notebook after you craft your first paint. And that's all you need to beat the living hell out of your walls. There will be enough paint for 10 strokes, after which you'll have to reapply the paint. It doesn't matter if you paint interior or exterior walls, your walls will get painted on both sides. You can also remove the paint from an object by right-clicking it. It won't return any paint to your backpack, however. You lose your previous paint when you apply a new one on your brush, so be wary of that. The green paint specifically can be hard to see, so it's easy to accidentally apply new paint on top of it. As of the upload of this video, you can't paint mud structures, which is just crazy to me, and I hope they change it. I spent a good week building this house and it's so ugly I can't stand to look at it. And it wouldn't be green hell if it wasn't clunky. I'll leave you with one last tip. Paint your sleds or other things that you keep leaving in the jungle and then having trouble finding. Take it from someone who has lost a sled before. And that's it from me today. This was the latest content update for Green Hell, which means I'm unlikely to make a new video about it. This was a fun ride and I hope you'll stick around. Let me know if there are other games that you'd like me to make a guide for, a guide that respects your time.